Hello, hi, welcome to Famhudi Hotspot Show. Today I am going to talk about asylum or refugee claim. How to claim for a refugee or asylum. So welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, please subscribe and also hit on the notification button. So when I drop a video, you'll be the first one to get this. So let's get into it. What is asylum? Asylum is you being, persecuted. If you're facing persecuted in your country of origin or facing some death row, you can claim asylum in about 20 countries around the world, and Canada happens to be one of them. So I am going to stick to Canada specifically, okay? Because I am in Canada. So what is asylum? Asylum, what to expect? I find a lot of people come in here without really knowing what is on the ground. There's a lot of immigrants in the country. In fact, I am not really sure why. What I'm hearing is that maybe Canada want to get more people. Of course, the labor market assessment impact. There's some impact. The labor force has been impacted with a shortage. So maybe one of the means to fill those gaps is to have a lot of people in a country. I also hear that Canada wants to match up to United States of America. Do you know how many people lives in the United States of America? A whole lot of things. So keep watching. We're going to get to I'm going to cover who is qualified to claim asylum. And just so you know, I'm not an immigration consultant. I am not a lawyer, but the law in Canada is so clear. In fact, it is so clear, it is public knowledge. You can search. It keeps changing on a daily basis when it comes to immigration. So please take your time to do your own research and your own investigation on any of these cases. I will also leave a couple links, maybe 2 links under this post for you to cross-check the information with. So who can claim asylum? And what is asylum? Like I said, asylum is someone who's running away from being persecuted by in their own country, or someone who is facing a death. Persecution for whatever reason. But the cases, what are some of the cases that qualifies to be asylum or to claim or to be refugee? This is what this video is going to cover. So let's look at what are the ways to claim for asylum. You can either claim asylum while you're outside Canada, or you can claim asylum when you enter the country at the port of entry, or maybe you already entered. So you can claim asylum anywhere. You're in a country, for some reason you can't go back, you can claim asylum. There's so many there. In fact, about 59 ways to remain in Canada. But today I'm just going to cover the asylum piece of it, or refugee. How do you claim asylum when you're outside your country now, or you're not in Canada yet? You can claim asylum outside Canada. You cannot claim asylum while you're in your country. You have to find a way to leave your country, and then the United Nations Refugee Agency are the people you can claim asylum with while you're outside Canada. Once you submit your application to United Nations Refugee Agency, they will then invite you for an in-person interview. You would have to prove your case. You will be scrutinized, all right. Keep in mind that asylum cases are not guaranteed to be approved. Research saying about 70% of asylum cases are refused. So keep that in mind, that if you're outside claiming for asylum, These are the expectations. So you would have to prove your own case and make sure that you know the story, you're in the story, you can prove to the immigration, Canada immigrant or the refugee board that this is a legit reason why you are afraid for your life or you can't go back to your country. And this is the route if you're outside. Once once the refugee board accept and approve your case, now you enter into the settlement piece of it. The settlement piece is where a country invites you, and that's a lengthy process. It can be lengthy because once you are approved by the refugee board, one of the countries has to invite you. You have to go through the settlement program. The settlement program is where a country accepts you and invites you to come. So, for example, if you are accepted through the settlement process, Canada will then invite you to settle in Canada. Now, there are other people that can, at that time, you don't need to, your country may not even be Canada. You can settle, like I said, about 20 countries you can settle in. So once you're accepted, you can choose any other country. But let's say Canada invites you. You can also be invited. You can also be sponsored by a group of people. You can also be invited by a church or organization. They can sponsor you. So after this settlement case is done, now you're invited to come to Canada. And Canada will pay for everything, including transportation as well as accommodation for the next 1 year as you enter into the country. If you are invited by a group of organization or a group of people, let's say church or a family can invite you to sponsor you for the next year while you're settling in Canada. And that is the process if you're doing it from outside the country, Canada. Let's say you can also, if you find an opportunity to enter into the country, you can claim asylum at the point of entry. When you claim asylum at the point of entry, again, keep in mind, it's not a guarantee. You could be refused and be returned back to your homeland. So keep that in mind. That is not a guarantee. But when you claim for asylum, Canada will look into your case. That can also be lengthy. I've seen some cases take 4 years. I've seen some 2. So it all depends on your situation. Again, you are going to face or may face a scrutiny. Of course, they're going to look into your case. So you have to know what case you are presenting to the Canadian Refugee Board. Once you are approved, that is when you become a permanent resident in the country. But throughout this whole thing, Canada will give you a work permit. At least you can work in the country and also support yourself while your case is in the process. So this is the route in terms of applying for refugee or asylum. What are some of the cases that are qualified or may be used for asylum? We hear a lot of, there could be a war in your country. If you happen to come to Canada through sponsorship of a group of people, after you put in your case, of course, these are some of the reasons that people claim asylum. There are a lot of internal issues that people are confronted with. For example, there are a lot of, example would be Ghana, where young journalists, some journalists are being targeted by peoples of a level of governments just because of the work they do. some of them lives are in danger. Yes, that could also be a case of asylum. People who work in the public domain, and because of what they do or some information that they've are privy to, or some level of I would say, I don't know, it could also be some confusion or some targeted individuals through government, I would say, activities. These are some of the cases that people can, if you find yourself in Canada, you can also use that as an asylum. I've heard cases, young girls who are given out for marriage at a very early on, where those men happens to be people who are influenced, and some of these young ladies find themselves outside the country. If you manage to enter Canada, you can use that as an asylum. There are some religious reasons why people feel threatened, people feel that their lives are in danger. You can also use that as for asylum. There's so many cases, case by case. Just recent one would be police officers targeting, and because of less power for the people, where the government in power has given so much power to the military that the people have lost power, and targeting groups of people. These things can also be used for asylum. Some civilians who has witnessed crimes in their country, when of course the country military, and we know that their lives are in danger because of what has already happened to some of them. If you happens to be to leave your country, these are some of the things that you can also use as an asylum. It has to be something that you have no control over. It has to be something that the judicial system has no control over. It has to be something that is publicated. It has to be something that is a human right issue. It has to be something that is against or against your will, living life. All those things can also be claimed as an asylum. So again, if people are wondering, I find that a lot of people come here, they are told a whole lot of things to scare them. Also, people has cases that you can be found and they're afraid because some people are told. I hear a story, one gentleman who said, if I claim asylum, they post my name and I can later be found by associates and all those things. People are afraid to also say something. So there's a lot of reasons why the phone calls that I'm receiving, sometimes it's about what about this, or I was told this story, but then I found something totally different when I came into Canada. This is the reason why I thought, you know what, let me just shed a little light and the little research that I've done just to give it to you. I hope this serves you as how I thought it would. And if you have any questions, if you have any comment, please leave it, drop it at the comment section. Like I said, if you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. I will also leave two reference link under the post. If you have any research to do, just refer to those sites for more information. Thank you very much.